You have been really thoughtful and knowledgeable about how you helped emerging businesses like Tulsa Tech Week. So, could you give us some examples or talk to how you and Black Dog Law have supported more established and more maturing businesses?
Oh, absolutely. So if you have an established business and you're like, I haven't done any intellectual property protections, or maybe we only did one trademark, or we looked into a patent once, maybe filed a copyright. Just because you did that early on, it's always important to check throughout the life of your business. What do you have? Do an inventory, kind of do some reflection, talk with your people within your company. Are you developing new product lines, new
Yeah.
services? If you decide to pivot into a new area, did you just have a wonderful, brilliant idea to make your entire process more efficient? What does that look like? All those pieces are things that need to be assessed,
Hmm.
if those are protectable
Hmm.
pieces of intellectual property, or if you need to update your contracts, things like that, to make sure that those are protected with inside and that they stay with inside your business. So there's things throughout the life of a business that need to have their pulse points checked just to make sure that you have a healthy intellectual property portfolio, or if you need one or not.
Post
That can
points
help
like
grow the
that.
business, or maybe it's something that you might want to sell off. You're like, hey, you know what? We started doing X, then we jumped into Y, and we got Y all protected, but Y is taking up way too much time
Mm.
and effort and energy, and I don't really love it anymore. Sometimes that happens. If you want to love what you're doing. You want that passion to always be there if you can have it. Um, and that might mean, okay, you need to sell off channel Y,
Hmm.
so making sure all of that stuff has been protected throughout. It's not necessarily, like I said, it's not a linear scale. It's a very curvy pathway, with little checkpoints along the way. And so we try to have those discussions, maybe do some intellectual property audits of a business that's
Yes.
existing, see what they have, see what's protected, see what's not, see where we can kind of add in some value there.
Okay.
It's really helpful. And it gives those business owners peace of mind.
Outstanding. So, are there any examples of more mature businesses that you have helped kind of navigate this landscape through the post points and the checkpoints that you mentioned?
We've worked with several, for confidentiality reasons. I can't,
Of
name them
course.
off, of course, but it's always wonderful working with business owners of all stages, honestly, because as much as I can help them, I can always learn from them as well. One of the main things I've learned throughout my practice is being very well connected, is hugely helpful to myself and my clients, and being able to refer them to people. When I notice maybe there's a problem area or an area they need help with, or maybe they've asked me, and if I have a deep network of people, within those particular areas that they're needing help in, it gives me peace of mind, that I can give them a referral that they're going to be comfortable with, that's
Yes.
going to be, in the realm of a person that they like, in the right price point, right realm of expertise. That's something the harder, I think, than we all ever imagined would be, be needed. It's like, oh, I'm just going to go into the world and get a job and do these things, and it's just going to stay fairly, like, walled off. But, we live in a huge world, and especially when we're out there helping businesses, or you're building a
Yes.
business yourself, being resourceful, being connected, knowing when to ask for help, and knowing how to kind of filter through some of that, can save you a lot of time, effort, and headaches in the long run.
I think having a great law partner like you in the actual practice of the business throughout its life cycle is truly invaluable. I can't underscore this enough. You have provided some real invaluable information, and I've worked with you. I'm still like actively learning. So I know our viewers are learning a thing or two. So, could you tell us about a common challenge that business owners at any stage have had, and how you've helped them navigate through that challenge to find the best solution for them?
Yes, absolutely. There's multiples. Trade names, your brand names, having conflicts with other
Mm.
businesses. Sometimes, you can operate your business under one name, and you'll get a cease and desist letter
Oof.
from someone. And number one, anytime I talk to someone that's received one of these, their blood pressure shoots through the roof. They kind of have a panic. They're worried. Now they have to call a lawyer, see what they have to do, or they ignore it. which is also not a great idea. Because sometimes these letters are just bullying. They're trying to
Mm.
carve out a larger piece of the pie for themselves. They think you're infringing on their name, but it's obviously not an issue.
Our viewers are most likely learning a lot because I've worked with you extensively and I'm still learning tons about how important it is to have a great partner like you along the way through the life cycle of a business. So, could you walk us through how you have helped a business navigate a common challenge that they're facing? Because I want people out there to recognize themselves and a possible person that they can call and reach out to if they're currently dealing with a challenge like this.
Yeah, absolutely. Uh, Trademark cease and desist
Oof.
would probably be one of the ones that comes top of mind. Sometimes these are legitimate. Can be from another attorney. Sometimes you get them reaching out through your Instagram or your social medias or directly to you. It might be like person to person instead of attorney to person, attorney to business owner. And it's helpful to have another attorney kind of look over that and look at the facts, look at kind of what they've asserted, because sometimes it's just bullying tactics.
Mm.
This other group wants to carve out a piece of the pie. Maybe they're thinking about expanding their product line into what you're doing, and you're operating a little bit similarly, and maybe there needs to be some differentiation. Negotiation can always be helpful if that's needed. The other one that I've seen a lot lately is copyright infringement claims, and those can be pretty costly if you're not careful. So please just be advised to not copy and paste images just plainly off the internet without a proper license.
Yes.
Those cease and desists can, that there's statutory damages involved, so you may have to pay something more than likely if you did copy and paste the wrong image that somebody else had registered and protected. As an IP attorney, I have to respect that those people, artists especially, have taken photographs, created works. Those things are due their respect, and those artists are due their monetization of that. So be careful out there with that, but those generally can be negotiated down as well to a
Mhm.
reasonable value. So again, those are some of the bigger challenges I've seen lately in the last year that an attorney can definitely help kind of guide you through that with a little more of a clear path, with a little less of a sting.
Thank you so very much. To those of you that are currently dealing with this challenge, better call Kate. That's all.
Better
That's all
call
I can
Kate.
tell you. So we have learned so much today, and I'm so thankful that you took a moment to sit down with me. So anyone that is listening right now, how could they reach out to you, and when should they reach out to you?
Absolutely. There's lots of options there. Blackdoglaw.com is our website. There's a calendar link to schedule a quick 15-minute consultation with me or my associate Jansen. I do office hours out of Gradient once or twice a month. Check out their calendar.
Mhm.
But yeah, I'm generally available. I also do speaking engagements on intellectual property 101 and ways that those intellectual property can directly affect your business. So yeah, multiple ways to get connected with me, to hear any of my educational pieces. So yeah, feel free to reach out.
You heard it first. Better call Kate if you're an emerging or established business wanting to protect yourself, your work product, your product, and service. Thanks so much. See y'all soon. And make sure you come out and attend any of the programming that is for you during Tulsa Tech Week and Black Dog Law programming. See you at Tulsa Tech Week 2026. Bye.
See ya.